Hi, this is Stacy Tidmore, and I will be talking today about the demographics in Manhattan, Kansas and Manhattan High School. We have a community that is employed largely by three different organizations. First, Kansas State University. Second, Fort Riley, which is next door to us near Junction City. And third, the upcoming NBAF, or National Bioagro Defense organization. They're a facility that will be doing federal research on biotoxins and that kind of thing. They are not fully functional, but are expected to be within the next couple years. And there are expectations of thousands of people moving into town in order to fulfill all the duties there. Generally, our population since the last census in 2010, last year is estimated to have grown by about 5.5%. Interestingly, we count our K-State student population within our population for the town, and that makes up about 40 to 50% of actually the town population if you look at what K-State's enrollment was last year here. We also include Fort Riley soldiers and their families who live here in town. In terms of more specific demographics, male to female ratio is about half to half, a little heavier on the male side here in town. Ethnically, we are largely a white community. We look at Black and African Americans and Asians and Hispanics are the three other larger minorities in town in terms of minorities being against the majority of the whites, and there are other like ethnicities that play a part in there as well. With education, people over 25 years old are highly educated in town. Almost 96% of people have graduated from high school and have some post-secondary education, and over half of our residents have a bachelor's degree or a higher education degree. We have about a quarter of our residents living in poverty. In Manhattan High, generally the demographics are similar, except in a couple cases where we will see in just a moment higher proportions. We have almost 2,000 students, and to give you a little background, we are in two buildings right now. And last year, our town passed a bond that will allow us to build on to the larger building, which we call West Campus, in order for us to put all 4 grades into that building in the next 3 to 4 years. Currently, the 9th grade students are at an older building just about a mile away from the West Campus. If we look at our high school population, male to female is split. Unlike the town, it's a little higher on the female side. If we look at ethnicity, our school is more ethnically diverse than our town is. We have a lower white population and larger populations of African Americans and Hispanic origin, as well as others encompassing Asian, Hawaiian Islanders, Native American, and etc. We also are different than Manhattan as a town in terms of the poverty level. 35% of our students are economically disadvantaged, about 10% more than what the statistic shows in town. We have about a 4% rate of English language learner students, and about 14% of our students present with disabilities. We have relatively somewhat stable and somewhat stable academic scores for our testing for the 4 subjects of math, English language arts, science, and history, government, social studies. At Manhattan High, we have a new principal, and the administrative team is structured with a principal, a main principal, and then an assistant principal who works with each grade level and follows that grade level through its graduation. Likewise, the counseling team has been restructured this year so that there are 2 counselors per grade level, 1 academic, 1 social emotional, and those 2 individuals follow their students in their grade through graduation as well. The new principal has a focus on increasing our service to the students who historically have been at a disadvantage and who have suffered lower rates of graduation. And so what we are doing is we are, of course, continuing all of the supports we've had for various students with regard to their post-secondary plans, whether that be college and university, technical college, vocational school, apprenticeship and internship, all kinds of things. So we have AP courses, 17 of those. We've got 30 concurrent classes through MATC, which is Manhattan Area Technical College. And we have those classes taught in our building. There are dual credit courses where students can also gain college level credit, but they do so at college campuses. We have MVA, or Manhattan Virtual Academy, where students can work through virtual online coursework at home. We have learning center rooms so that those students who need more individualized support can get that. We have a huge amount of extracurricular opportunities in athletics and arts and clubs to serve our diverse population. When I looked at all of this data, what really spoke to me was how diverse and large our population in the high school is. I just know from my now second year working at the high school, I have met so many more students and families who don't run in the same circles in town that I do. And I really enjoyed that opportunity. I was surprised to see that poverty is such a large issue at our school, especially when you get a snapshot of walking through the halls. You don't always really see it at face value. I do know that in my Tier 2 reading support classes, I'm a reading interventionist. I do tend to work with students who come from these backgrounds. So I'm interested in not only the one-to-one data that I receive about this by working with my students, but also just in seeing the stats on how much of a problem this is for our school. I love the diversity of the school. It pushes me out of my own comfort zones. It gets me out of my own circles of friends and helps me meet new people and learn about them and develop as a person myself. After looking at the videos and the readings on culture for this module, I feel that an ethnographic approach would best serve me in my goal to help students as individuals. I think it helps us develop a culture of understanding, compassion, empathy, respect, resiliency, because when we connect one-to-one and gather people's stories and understand them and share our own stories, and that's what ethnography, I think, really does, then we develop much more compassion than I think we would with larger, broader types of cultural studies. So ethnography is what I'm going to really work to bring into my classroom and think of myself as an ethnographer teacher so that I can help students in an individual way and actually gain more access into what makes them tick so that I can help them more. Thank you so much.